Okay, this is the main street of Corryong. As you can see, it's a pretty bustling town. We're just having a walk around the town, and it's quite a lovely town. The people are just so friendly. This is the Visitor Information Centre here. And that word up there on top of the awning is bakery, and we are on our way there. What a story. J.O. Simpson's rug. J.O. Simpson was a World War II gunner, navigator and bomb aimer in the RAAF 409238. He was a prisoner of war, 259908. Jim was in the Royal Australian Air Force, and in October 1943 his plane was shot down on the first mission over Germany. Jim and 4 others were the only ones to survive the attack. They were captured and sent to the German prison camp Stalag 4B on advice that his woolen pullover would be confiscated and sent to the Russian front. He unravelled it into balls of wood. Over the next few months, Jim gradually acquired more pullovers, which he boiled to kill lice and then wound it into balls of wool. Jim knitted socks and taught many fellow prisoners how to knit, a real boost for prisoner morale. Jim Simpson's rug measures 6 foot 1 inch by 6 foot 4 inches and depicts the Australian map and coat of arms. The rug was knitted in one piece and took about 6 weeks from hundreds of small lengths of wool, worn wool, joined together. Jim has dedicated his rug to his mother, Mrs. Ivy Davidson Ogle Simpson, deceased, to the mothers of all fallen soldiers and airmen and POWs of World War II. You're kidding me, what a story. This is the rug knitted by Jim O. Simpson as a prisoner of war in World War II. It's on display here in the Man of Snowy River Museum in Corryong, Victoria. It's a great, great place and a great story.
I had to straighten them out with a stone on a cement and then
just continue.
cement sharpen them. And that's what the needles are. They were ideal.
Turn it up a bit.
The Jerry's had a look at them, and I said, well, don't get your maulers on them because they're my knitting needles, you see. I like to remember that I did something. I got shot down the first trip. After all the education that I had, I did nothing. But to do a thing like that, I suppose it's a memorial to Mum for teaching me. And, well, it's something I can look back and think of all the, not the unpleasant days, but the pleasant ones. And I was surprised that Jerry's allowed me to do what they did. So they weren't as bad as we thought they were. We went over to Hanover, the first trip. We got up to 21,800 and one got shot down. I reckon we were next. I got out at about 6,000 feet. Just as the tail came off about 2 seconds after, I landed in Germany by parachute. The next day, I walked onto a fellow sitting in the bush. He put up his gun and yelled out, and I had to stop. And took me down. The Frenchman said he was an Englander, and that was it. You'll be in prison for the rest of the war, he said. Stalag 4B. I said, I come from the mountains and I'm a farmer and I run cattle in the mountains. I didn't think I'd have to come over and sort you blokes out after the first hand that did. Well, they are cheeky, you see. The Germans used to souvenir woolen wear to send to the Russian front. When I was in this room with all these Yanks, they said they're going to have a field day with you with your naval pullover. It was new. They'll take it to the Russian front. And I said, by God, they can't do that. So I went in the toilet and I was there about 20 minutes and they wondered where I'd got to. So when I come out, the Yankee says, oh, the Jerry's got your jacket. No, I said, I've got it. Where is it? I said, here. I said, I pulled it undone so they can't have it. If they want it, they can make it up again. And that's how my rug got to get made, because I pulled it to bits and wouldn't let them have it. There was 14 of us. They had no socks and it was cold. And I couldn't knit for a lot of them. I said, why not get a bit of wool and try? And all that soon learnt. They were very good, quick learners. And the boys that I taught to knit, they were pretty good messengers. They came in with worn-out Guernseys. The back of a Guernsey is the best. The front is generally a bit motley, and the arms. To boil the darn things before I can pull it a bit, because it was lice on them, you see. But they got enough wool for me to start the rug. After 13 months of gathering the wool, I had all these boxes of wool, and I started knitting, and took 6 weeks knitting time to knit that. All I had to knit a pair of socks for a Canadian to get you some new, he got some new hockey socks, and I got the colours out of that. It's pretty good red, that too. But in that thing, there's thousands of little bits, only a few feet long, you know, a yard or so long. I was always pretty good at geography, and I drew the map, but I made a bit of a mess there on from Byron Bay, up near the Queensland border, down to about Newcastle. I should have had it out a little bit wider. But other than that, it's pretty right. And now you might wonder how I got the knitting needles. Well, they were already cut that length because they were Italian Dixie pan handles. And I had to straighten them out with a stone on a cement, and then the cement sharpened them. And that's what the needles are. They were ideal. And the Jerry's had a look at them, and I said, well, don't get your maulers on them, because they might hit needles, you see. I like to remember that I did something. I got shot down on the first trip. After all the education I had, I did nothing. But to do a thing like that, I suppose the memorial to Mum for teaching me. And, well, it's something I can look back and think of all the, not the unpleasant days, but the pleasant ones. And I was surprised that Jerry's allowed me to do what they did. So they weren't as bad as we thought they were.
Lots of things to look at here at the Man from Snowy River Museum in Corryong. It's well worth a visit. This is just another one of the exhibitions. These are the displays that were inside. And this is what the rest of the grounds look like. So this is an old jail over here. So this is the old police lockup. Should get Mrs. Spielberg in there. This is the old police station here.
But yeah, it was luckily the wind kept going south and yeah, just more safe. But they evacuated the town, I think. They tried to get everyone out. I didn't go. I think we go down with the ship.
This is the old police station. Try to have a chat to the bloke on duty, but he doesn't want to really talk back. This is the Cudgewah North School.
Yes.
Mrs. Spielberg is holding class.
Do you remember the world map?
Oh yes, we will remember the world map.
I remember these. It was the blackboard that would roll,
Yeah.
which you can sign in and you can put your name up here.
Yeah, there's a lot of history here.
I still can't write straight on.
What?
I still can't write straight on the blackboard. I can
Oh,
never
right,
write
okay.
Straight on the blackboard.
Greg and Trish were obviously here in 2006, but don't tell anybody.
26. not
Oh,
6.
20 and 26. 2026, sorry.
Hey, look at this.
Mrs. Spielberg's always correcting me.
Hey, look at this. Commonwealth Atlas. I've still got one of them similar to home. Look at these. Did you have
Oh,
one
the
of
pencil
these?
boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes once I had a double one. I never had a slate.
No, we didn't use slates. We used paper. This is pretty good, isn't it?
Children's encyclopedias. Picture of the Queen. There was always a picture of the Queen.
Whilst it's called the Man from Snowy River Museum, I'd highly recommend that if you get a chance coming through Corryong, that you definitely stop and have a look. It's well worth it. It was very interesting, very, very interesting, and we haven't even finished it off yet. So this will give you a general look, and we can go through there.
Just keep going.
This is the first motor vehicle. Its name is Iris the Jeep. It's a 1944 model, World War II, restored by the Lions Club in Corryong, 2002. This is the first vehicle that crossed the Alps from the Murray to Monaro. And this is what it looked like inside. Hopefully you can see it. Not very big, and they even had the jerry can with them. It's a 2-gallon petrol tin. And its name is Iris. It's in pretty good nick for its age. Okay. This is a replica of Jack Riley's hut that he lived in at Tom Grogan for about 30 years while he was employed by John Pearce of Greg Station to manage their cattle and high country. It was here that Walter Mitchell brought A.B.J. Banjo Patterson to meet Jack Riley and spent the night with him, hearing of his tales of adventure, and it was shortly after he wrote the poem the man from Snowy River.
It's nice and cool in here, hey?
But it is nice and cool in here. So as you can see, it's not very big. But this is where Jack Riley lived when he was when the hut was at Tom Grogan.